The Odyssey is a gorgeous-looking French movie about the ocean-going adventurer and filmmaker Jacques Cousteau.
It's okay, now someday I'm gonna be with you. It's okay, I know someday I'm gonna be with you.
In 2004, director Wes Anderson made a peculiar little movie called The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which was totally based on the real-life persona of Jacques Cousteau. Cousteau was a French naval officer, an explorer, a filmmaker, an innovator, a scientist, a photographer, author and researcher. A huge public persona who innovated and changed our perception, exploring and also enjoying of the oceans and its many wonders. The movie The Odyssey, directed by Jérôme Salle, starts just after Cousteau and his friends from the Navy built the first aqua-lung prototypes and shot an underwater documentary. Right from the beginning, The Odyssey is told with big pictures, showing the wonders and beauty of our world. We literally just dive in, and for the rest of those 2 hours it's very fast-paced, faster than most biopics. And despite rushing through some episodes of Cousteau's life, the movie succeeds in bringing his character to life, and not just only for people who already know who he is. I mean, the name Cousteau was not unknown to me. When I was growing up, I was diving many times with my family, and after having read an old raving review by François Truffaut about Cousteau's Oscar-winning documentary The Silent World from 1956, I totally fell in love with that movie. But apart from that, and having seen Wes Anderson's film a few years back, I definitely wasn't aware of the life Cousteau led. The Odyssey was one of the most visually stunning and also most emotional experiences I had in the cinema all year. Let's begin with the look of the movie, which really surprised me. I'm not sure what the production budget was, but when the actors wouldn't have spoken in French, I would have been sure that this was a big Hollywood production. It looks amazing. From the way it was shot, the production design that had to take you back into different decades, to the special effects that look absolutely real. Like you expect, there are many gorgeous underwater sequences, one with sharks, one even with a big whale, and then there are scenes in the far north with penguins and other animals as well, and they all look real. I bet some of them must have been real, but some of them must also have been CGI, and you really can't tell. It has a great documentary-like quality to it, while always pushing the narrative forward. One other technical aspect before we talk about its story. The makeup effects are simply wonderful. The Odyssey covers a huge time span, and the aging effects were handled so brilliantly that I honestly wasn't sure what the real age of lead actor Lambert was in the end. At the core, The Odyssey has 3 different components which are all depending on one another. It tells the story of Cousteau, of this great popular figure, but without making him a godlike character without any flaws. Quite the opposite. The movie doesn't shy away to highlight some of his darkest and also saddest moments. This goes along with the second main focus, the family of Cousteau. This is a family story that begins with Cousteau and his wife Simone, played by the wonderful Audrey Tautou, and their 2 young sons, diving together in the beautiful ocean. Jacques and Simone have a dream, for which they give up their old life. They buy a big ship, the Calypso, and travel around the world, making new discoveries, exploring the oceans together. Their sons, who had to go to a boarding school, grow up as well and rejoin their parents' adventures later on. Especially their youngest son Philippe plays a key role as the Odyssey becomes more and more a father-son story. Philippe is played by the young actor Pierre, who gives an incredible performance. The later scenes with him and Lambert Wilson shook me so hard I almost couldn't hold it in. They form the emotional grounding for the movie without taking away from the relationship between Jacques and his wife Simone, who has also a big part. Like I said, it's moving quite fast and many parts feel like big wonderful montage sequences. I can understand when some people might consider this a flaw, but I was taken away by it. Another emotional anchor and the third key ingredient of the Odyssey is its message, which comes more to the foreground step by step as the movie progresses. A film about Jacques Cousteau, a film about exploring the oceans, must also be a film about the catastrophe that mankind brings to one of our world's most precious treasures. When they started, Cousteau and his crew, the people around him, the people who watched his movies and later television stuff, they were all so naive. They were just discovering this beautiful world, not thinking about the danger of destroying it, of exploiting it. This theme is carried throughout the movie, starting with just the beauty and then finally realizing at some point that this beauty is so fragile and must be protected. This is also what pushes the father-son aspect of the movie, combined with exploring Cousteau's big ego. I have to say it again, the Odyssey really got to me. It's a beautiful movie with an equally mesmerizing score by Alexander Desplat. It showcases incredible performances and has a rich story and rich characters to explore. Like it explores our beautiful world. I really hope you get a chance to check this out on the big screen and don't shy away from watching a movie with subtitles, it's well worth it. I give the Odyssey 8.5 out of 10.
It's okay, I know someday I'm gonna be with you.
Il y a plus de 30 ans, j'ai découvert un nouveau monde. J'ai voulu le conquérir. Alors qu'en fait, il fallait le protéger.
Someday
Mais il est encore temps.
I'm with you.
Alright, that's it. Like always, please tell me in the comments below what you think about the Odyssey. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
You